sleuthy. Well, would you look at that? It's time for another edition of the Nintendo News Roundup. Can you believe it's been another week? I can, because weeks just kind of go by, don't they? First it's one week, then it's another. Weirdest thing in the world. Anyway, here's the Nintendo news. E3 is back this year. For whatever reason, they elected not to do the whole digital thing last year, just letting everybody else do it for them. But they're back this year, doing E3, all digital, all online, and this time, Nintendo is involved. I suppose with Nintendo bringing back the Nintendo Direct format, there was no reason for them not to be at E3, I suppose. So they're back. Nintendo themselves haven't really said anything about what they're gonna do, but it's probably just gonna be the usual, just a digital presentation or whatever. It's a nice change of pace. Last year, it was just getting a little tiresome, seeing just like, oh, here's some big game event featuring literally every video game company ever except Nintendo. Or sometimes Sony and Nintendo. Weird, but they're back. What's it gonna be like? Who knows? But that's happening. That's pretty cool. I guess I have stuff to say about it, but I think I'm gonna do a whole video on it, so I'll just leave it at that for now. Nintendo President Furukawa recently gave a statement saying that right now Nintendo is primarily focusing on developing new IPs and then making games for, previous staple series. A lot of media outlets took this to mean that they're just not gonna return to like old games or whatever, but I think people are looking a little too deeply into this. I mean, like, you can say this is like the focus without saying you're absolutely not gonna do, they're absolutely not gonna return to previous series or, make retro content or whatever like that. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm not willing to look at this too literally, too exactly, but that's basically what they're doing. New IPs is cool. I mean, new Nintendo IPs are always exciting, so it's always fun to imagine what they might have in development. He also said that right now Switch production is going pretty darn well. They're able to meet demands, but that might not necessarily be the case going forward. Pretty much across the tech industry, there are semiconductor shortages, along with shortages of a couple of, multiple other tech components. It's been an ongoing thing with the whole global situation and all that. I don't know exactly what a semiconductor is. I assume it conducts, kinda? Anyway, so he said that Switch production might slow down in the future. They're not 100% sure they'll be able to keep up with the demand. That's another one of those things we'll just kind of have to wait and see. We don't know if there's gonna be a new Switch or whatever, how that plays into this. Who knows? But hopefully they're able to keep their stock up heading into the holiday season of this year, which is not nearly as far away as I feel like it should be. Feels like we just had Christmas, but we totally didn't. So the Switch recently got its latest firmware update. It was a pretty boring update. Didn't really add any features or anything, just mostly just like bug fixes and stuff. Really flew under the radar. However, apparently it comes with some interesting stuff. Data miners have been digging into it and have found some evidence of some interesting stuff. Twitter user Oatmeal Dome has found some potential evidence for a info pertaining to a new dock for the Switch, potentially with 4K output and a dock that is updatable. So obviously that would mean a much more, a much more technically advanced dock than what we have right now, which is just an HDMI and a hunk of plastic, basically. They've also found evidence that, the Switch has Bluetooth capability. It's for use with the Joy-Cons. You just can't use it with Bluetooth devices. Nintendo didn't allow that. But there's also some evidence to suggest that the latest update has kind of enabled Bluetooth. We still can't access it, but it might become a thing that is accessed in the future. With both of these, I have no idea what any of this means at all. Not even a single bit. But that's pretty exciting if either of those things are true. A few days ago, for about 5 hours, the eShop randomly shut down. Nintendo cited emergency maintenance. No one really knows what happened, but it came back up again after some hours. I always have to assume, like coffee on the keyboard or something, a bird gets loose in the HQ and everybody's gotta they gotta chase it and try to get it out the window and everybody just shuts down for 5 hours or something like that. That's basically what I imagine. On Nintendo's YouTube channel, they've got a Nintendo Switch Online overview trailer, and they have a... This is really funny. So, how Nintendo Switch Online really stinks and it's bad and Nintendo's Online is awful? That whole thing you might have heard of. People really like to spam them dislikes on the trailer. Nintendo has updated the trailer a number of times. Most likely they're just updating it to include like new games and stuff, you know, just to keep the footage in the trailer relevant. But with those dislikes, it's you know, it's fun to imagine that they're just trying to re-upload it quietly so that people don't, you know, don't dislike it a bunch. Nintendo just did their latest iteration, and it was downvoted to oblivion instantly. It's awesome. I think it's great. Nintendo Switch Online stinks, and Nintendo should change it. And I know we're all paying for it anyway, and so what are we gonna do? They're never gonna change it. But I just, hey, at least we can let them know how mad we are. At least we can let them know, and somebody at Nintendo can see it and be like, ooh, yeah, boy. A couple weeks ago, I talked about a sealed copy of the original Super Mario Brothers was up for auction, and it was potentially going to become the highest selling, you know, highest dollar amount for a video game collectible ever, and it has smashed that goal. It ended up selling for $660,000 for a sealed copy of the original Super Mario Brothers, which I double down on my statement that they probably sold the Nintendo PlayStation. That was the previous one. They sold that way too cheap. If just a copy of Mario was selling for that much, goodness gracious. More cyber sleuths, or whatever you want to call them, are suggesting that there could potentially be a 7th fighter in the Fighters Pass Smash Ultimate. I'm not really seeing a lot of solid evidence. Basically what they're saying is that each character kind of has like a code, like on the website, and because of the way that the codes are all ordered, there's like a blank spot suggesting that there could potentially end up being like something coming after the 6th fighter. But I don't, that, from what I'm reading, it seems like that could just be a Mii costume or something, or some other thing, because there are codes assigned to the Mii costumes and stuff. So it doesn't seem super likely, but I don't know. Some people seem to be convinced that that is possible, and maybe it is. New Pokemon Snap has received even more info. There's a nice, big, long, meaty video here. There's some Japanese commercials. Just a lot of, like, solid gameplay. 1 or 2 weeks ago, the press was given access to a demo, and they were able to play it, but we mostly just got info from them. Well, now we get the actual, like, unbroken gameplay. So that's pretty cool. Really looking forward to that. That is coming up weirdly soon. This is so funny. Okay, so I love the champions from Breath of the Wild. I already liked them, but Age of Calamity made me love them. It made me fall in love with them. I love them so much. They're so cool. And I actually just recently, because of that, bought all the amiibo. I was on the GameStop website, and they were just there in the recommended, and I'm like, okay, just throw them all in there. Send them to me. I was looking at them, and I was like, man, I could really go for, like, better figures, you know? Or, like, I want them to be to scale to each other, and it'd be really cool if First 4 Figures or someone would make a bunch of cool, like, even, like, a set of, like, all of the champions. Literally that day. I found out about it later, but I looked at the date, and that exact day, First 4 Figures announced the Champions series, starting with Revali. It's not exactly how I imagine, like a set with like all of them or something. This is gonna be each one in sequence. I don't know if they are gonna be to scale with each other. I would love that so much. That would be so cool. But that's funny. Just a really funny coincidence. They're doing the whole series that exact day. So there you go. It's probably up for like pre-order or something. Or I don't know. They like do pre-orders and pre-orders of pre-order. I can't even remember what First 4 Figures. It's kind of a complicated process, but there you go. Revali, pretty cool. Can't wait to get Urbosa. I don't know if I'll spring for it. They're really expensive, but they're really nice. But I love Urbosa. I like Daruk too. I like Urbosa and Daruk. That's tough. I gotta not look at these anymore. I'm gonna buy them. I don't have the money to buy them. Anyway, so Super Nintendo World opened pretty recently, a couple weeks ago. They were already operating at a lower capacity for obvious reasons, but apparently there's been a big spike in viral numbers in Japan, which is very unfortunate. And even though they just opened, they already have to limit capacity dramatically, much more. Understandable, but disappointing. Their capacity was like 20,000 visitors per day. all the way down to 5,000. That's tough. I feel like that's going to be pretty tough to turn a profit with that. Not really sure though, so hopefully that turns around sometime soon. Speaking of Super Nintendo World, some people have been capturing video and footage and stuff of Super Nintendo World being built in Hollywood. That is exciting, because that's the one that I'm probably gonna get to go to, even though it's gonna open just in 2025 or something, so many years. But that's cool, because I live in California. That's the one in California. That's gonna be so much easier for me to visit. So it's exciting. We're gonna get to see that slowly built up over the next few years. Hori coming at us with another product, this time an official Ring Fit Adventure styled exercise mat. There you go, pretty cool. It's right now it's Japan only, seems really expensive. It's like 57 bucks, pretty expensive for a thin little mat, but I don't know, it's official Ring Fit Adventure. So there you go. So Nintendo revealed Pac-Man 99, obviously Battle Royale style take on Pac-Man, same with, you know, Mario 35, Tetris 99 or whatever. I do find it funny, they waited exactly a week after taking down Mario 35. It's like they knew it would be kind of in bad taste to reveal it too fast because we're all mad about Mario. So they're like, well, what's like the minimum that we should wait? A week, just like etiquette-wise. Just like wait a week. So they waited just exactly 7 days to be like, Pac-Man 99, anybody? So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is gonna be another thing that gets taken down or whatever, or if it's gonna be like Tetris 99, where it just kind of stays up forever, because Tetris 99 is still a thing that people are playing. People want to keep playing these games pretty much forever. Not sure why on Nintendo's system, the Mario one is the one that gets taken down anyway. Could go into that, but I won't. So No More Heroes 3 had like a broadcast that like gave us a whole bunch of new like gameplay footage and info about the big like box set, and like they're gonna do like a trilogy thing in Japan, and this like new info, and this really flew under the radar. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know why Nintendo isn't pushing this game a little bit more. Like, I only heard about this on Nintendo Life, and then it was like the broadcast was already over, and like, I don't know, it's just weird that Nintendo isn't, if they're gonna do a thing, a big like gameplay reveal thing, aren't you gonna push that to people? Aren't you at least gonna like tweet about it or something? I don't know, maybe they got more stuff planned for the game later or something. It would be a shame to see Nintendo like not support the game. They have been up to this point, so I don't see why they wouldn't. Also, I looked at parts of the broadcast. It's got a lot of very, very funny like meta humor, a lot of like self-deprecating stuff in there. Like show like the the Metacritic score for the other No More Heroes game, talking about how like, oh, it's gonna be a cult classic later. Thought it was pretty funny. So in the just basically you know, like I was saying, there's like a new segment of the show now. Is just like Animal Crossing stuff that sells out instantly because they don't make enough of it. Just like artificial scarcity. The segment right now, Animal Crossing has got in Japan and the 7-Eleven. Nintendo loves the 7-Eleven, but like just in Japan. I don't know what it is. They do all their stuff with 7-Eleven, and they got these Animal Crossing figures, these little like flocked little figures. They're pretty nice. Like looking at pictures, they're pretty nice, and they're not very expensive at all, which is cool. But of course, this is just the latest thing to sell out instantly, sometimes before it even hits the store shelves or whatever, and people are scrambling to get it, and there might be more later, but who knows? Shrug your shoulders. Similarly, the Animal Crossing Build-A-Bear was finally revealed, and people could buy it and stuff. They revealed Tom Nook and Isabelle, and it seems like a pretty disappointing thing all around. Like, I'm not into this. I'm not super into Animal Crossing stuff and like the Build-A-Bear, but like it seems people are pretty disappointed that there was just Isabelle and Tom Nook, and that's like it. And also that they sold out instantly because there like just weren't enough. And I don't really get it. Like the whole point of Build-A-Bear is that you go there and you watch them build it and you can customize it, and they put like the heart in there. It's like a special thing. These are just plushies. You just buy them. They're just Tom Nook and Isabelle plushies. I don't really get the point. Not a good selection. There are more coming later though. Build-A-Bear did announce that more are coming this summer, but it just seems like yet another thing that's being handled so poorly. Just so poorly. Nobody can get their hands on them. What is even the point? Why are you selling a product that no one wants to buy? These kinds of like, oh, little campaigns are like to drum up interest, get people excited. It's Animal Crossing. It's already a giant success. You don't need the marketing to drum up the interest and get everybody excited. Now you take that install base and you sell them plastic garbage. It's the basics here. I gotta move on though. Got some fun stories today in the realm of Nintendo fandom. Some very talented fans are making a 2D version of Metroid Prime, and they actually released a demo. They revealed this project on April 1st to make it look like a joke, but then it wasn't a joke, it's real. There's a demo. I'm not gonna play it because it's too cool, and I don't wanna get sad because I'm already sad looking at these. Look at this like amazing, super awesome like pixel art, especially in like the environments and stuff. Basically just Metroid Prime, but in 2D. I think it's really cool, although I will say, it almost just kind of seems like a waste. Like, Nintendo's just gonna shut it down anyway. It's like, I don't know. Make a new game, either make like a unique Metroid game that looks this good, or just make your own game. Like, these people are obviously very talented. This looks very, very cool. I'd like to just see like a Metroid inspired thing, you know, do your own take on Metroid. Even if like we look at it and we know it's basically Metroid, but like, I don't know, you put that skill to good use. I mean, it's cool. I can definitely appreciate that they are that passionate, that they're willing to put this work in. But I want to see more of this. I want to see more of this, this talent here. Similarly, a fan has created a kind of a proof of concept demo for a version of Ocarina of Time that is done in the style of Wind Waker. Apparently at first this was just like kind of a proof of concept. You can see the video here. But then because of the feedback and everything, they're like, yeah, let's make a full version, like a full like mod, you know, like a mod pack that you can have and actually play the game. It looks cool, mixes some of the visual styles, some of the like tools and concepts, so that's pretty fun. Somebody recreated a popular Among Us map called Skeld. Sorry, haven't played Among Us, don't know much about it. They've recreated it in Animal Crossing, which is fun, though I would say the most notable part about this is that Nintendo took it down. Nintendo just took it right down. It is possible that they did this just because people were abusing the report feature, and that made Nintendo like automatically take it down because it was like, oh, inappropriate content, because I don't feel like they usually take down islands for copyright reasons. They like that people are making all these fun islands. Not really sure, but as usual, not a good look for Nintendo. Just another one of those things that make us go, oh, really? Really? Why can't we have anything over here? Another fan has made a, oh, it's delightful. I love tiny things. I love tiny little stuff and little recreations and little like model-y stuff. And this is a recreation of Link's house in Breath of the Wild. And he uses like Sculpey and stuff. So it's, oh, this wonderful little like real kind of organic feel to it. It's delightful. I would purchase this. I would purchase something like this. I love it. I don't have anywhere to put it, but I just love the look of it. I would love to play a Zelda game that looks like this. Like, you want to do like the kind of toy-like thing from Link's Awakening, except go more toward like clay, like the organic, the clay and the wood, and I don't know, it just looks really cool. Another fan has created a replica of Nintendo's original, like absolute old, super old, 100 years old original HQ building, but like a building, like an actual building replica, where this person plans to house their game collection. Which is, and apparently the attention to detail is just incredible, down to like the types of tiles being used and stuff. That is some dedication right there. And finally, someone has created the world's largest Nintendo Switch. This is not just a TV that looks like a Switch. It is a fully functioning Nintendo Switch. The buttons and the sticks work and everything. And so that's cool. Big giant Switch. They're also donating it to a children's hospital, so good on them. Make a big old Switch and donate it. There you go. Good day. And that is it, my friends, for this edition of the Nintendo News Roundup. I hope you have a great day. I am gonna go and stop recording because this whole entire time I have been just trying to work around the need to cough because I have the allergies, and it's very difficult to record videos, so I'm gonna go.